It is an exciting Monday morning here at Monday Leaders. My name is Elizabeth Gardner. Welcome to Monday Leaders this morning. I hope many of you who are just getting back from your amazing trip to Mexico had a phenomenal time. Excited about being with all of you. And somebody still has a lot of background noise. I don't know if that's Coach Bell or who that is. Uh,
Not me.
Not you. So I don't know who's unmuted then. Anyway, okay, we'll figure it out. But anyway, here on Monday, here we are again, and so excited to have you all here. And I am not going to delay any further. We are going to go ahead and turn it over to none other than Millionaire Club member, Circle of Champion Coach Fard Bell. Coach Bell, turn it over to you.
Well, great morning, Ms. Garner. Great morning, everybody. It was so good seeing so many of you in Riviera Maya, Mexico. What an amazing experience. And the only thing that's going to be better is having even more of us together in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, with team members, each of us having people there with us in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Um, this morning, obviously the biggest focus of all is Performance Club family, and Rob Hurst did such a fantastic job last night on the call. For those who weren't on there, make sure you catch the replay in the Team Pinnacle Facebook group, or on the Team Pinnacle website, myteampinnacle.com, once it comes out, because he laid out a couple visuals. One of the visuals was what I call the 5 cash flow levels, but he showed another visual that was so powerful, that basically broke down how every 10 Performance Club qualifiers in your organization adds another $50,000 a year to your cash flow. Like every 10 Performance Club qualifiers can add another $50,000 per year to your cash flow. What? I mean, that alone. And he was inspired by Brian Carruthers with that, and the visual. And so just think about that. It really puts into perspective that Performance Club is not one good idea to focus on. Performance Club is the idea. It is the business plan. It's not one of so many different things like, oh yeah, and then there's Performance Club. No. Write this down, everybody. Performance Club is the plan. Performance Club is the plan. The plan for what, Coach? Performance Club is the plan to earn a consistent $500 to $1,000 per month. Performance Club is the plan for what, Coach? Performance Club is the plan and that was cash flow level 1, 500 to 1,000 a month. Performance Club is the plan to make 3 to 5,000 a month as a senior director. Performance Club is the plan for what, Coach? Performance Club is the plan to earn 5 to 10,000 a month or more as an executive director. Performance Club is the plan for what, Coach? Performance Club is the plan to be a consistent platinum executive director, earning 10,000 plus per month, 10,000 to 6 figures a month, right? Performance Club is the plan for what, Coach? Performance Club is the plan to be a diamond executive director, earning over $100,000 a month. So whatever your goals and dreams are that you want to sustain, you can hit goals without Performance Club, but for all the goals you have that you want to sustain over time, Performance Club is the plan. So if Performance Club is the plan for you, then how do we increase the number of Performance Club qualifiers? And so a couple things I want to show. Let me take off my background so I can show you all a visual. So a couple things I want everybody to see is something many of you may have never seen before, or it's been a long time, and it's the motivation triangle. Can you all see this?
Yes.
Motivation triangle. Take a picture of this or draw this out on your paper. This triangle um, is one of those leadership principles that we were taught a long time ago that really help put into perspective the percentage of people that are motivated and how people are motivated in the organization. And let's start at the bottom of the triangle. At the bottom of the triangle, it says 27%. That means 27% of the people in your organization are what's called unmotivatable. Unmotivatable, meaning no matter what you do, they're just not motivatable at all. Now, here's what I want to say about that. Most people make the mistake of thinking that that number is a lot larger than it is. They think because somebody's not doing the right activity, that means they're not motivatable. And it's not true. Only 27% of your organization statistically is unmotivatable. So let's look at the second from the bottom is the 60%. 60% of your organization is motivatable. They are motivatable. Even, they may not be doing it right now. They might not be doing the fundamentals. They might not be qualifying, but they are motivatable. They can be motivated. They can be inspired into activity. But the 60%, which is the largest percentage of your entire organization, they need the right leader to show up to inspire them into action. They're not going to do it on their own, but it doesn't mean they won't do it or can't do it. They need a higher level of leadership to inspire them, to equip them. Books like John C. Maxwell's Developing the Leader Within You are so important because it shifts us into the right mindset and skill set and focus to be the type of leaders that we need to be to inspire the 60% that are motivatable. This is where the massive wealth is at. These are all of your future Performance Club qualifiers. These are all of your next producers and contributors. It's a huge, large group of people. There's massive wealth. This is your gold mine, your acres of diamonds right there in your backyard. That's 60%. And then on the third line from the bottom up, you've got your 10 percenters. These are the ones who are self-motivated. They come in like that. They were already self-motivated before they even joined. Or they become self-motivated over time because the 60% through personal development and sticking around in the right environment and having the right coaching and mentoring, they can evolve into being self-motivated. But 10% of your organization are those who are self-motivated, meaning you don't have to, you show me one time and 2 to 5 a day, inviting 2 to 5 a day is the way. All right, I'm on it. You don't have to tell me again. I'm self-motivated, but I'm only 10%. Oh, I show up to my weekly training calls. All right, that's a part of what's going to get me my dream. That's all I needed to know. Get out of my way. I'll be there because I'm self-motivated. I don't need anybody to ask me every day, every week. And if, when you ask me, yep, already done. Yep, already registered. Yep, if I want a sustainable organization and I want massive growth and I want to be able to sustain 5 to 10,000 a month and beyond, I need a one night a week in my local area for a live event. You don't have to tell me twice, mentor. I'm on it. I'm looking for the location the same day I heard about it. Some of y'all catch the reference. If you didn't catch that reference, you don't listen to Jim Rohn enough. He said, when my mentor said, Earl Shope said, you got to read a book called Think and Grow Rich. He said, guess when I went and got it? The same day I heard about it. I went and got it. I went and got it. So how fast do we implement what the mentors are teaching us? They're never going to teach us the wrong thing. Not in this business. Our wealth is built upon the success of our organization. So we're never going to share anything that's not going to help you become more wealthy and become more successful. But the question is, how fast do we implement what the mentors say? A self-motivated person, immediately. They don't have to be babysat, but it's only 10%. So what do I do with this information, coach? Well, here's one thing to take away from this information. If you want to have one self-motivated person in your team, how many people do you have to recruit into your team? Let's see who's got their calculators on this early in the morning. If you want to have one more self-motivated person on your team, how many people do you have to recruit? You got it. 10. Because 1 out of 10 is self-motivated. That's 10%. 1 out of 10 is self-motivated. Oh, there's the code right there. So the faster me and my team recruit 10 people, the faster, listen to my language, the faster I recruit 10 people, whether they're personal recruits, some of them are personal recruits, and then helping my team recruit. All 10 of those count. If I recruit 5 people and I help my team members recruit 5 people, that's 10 new recruits. Somebody self-motivated is about to pop up. Somebody self-motivated is about to pop up in my organization statistically, every 10 recruits. So the faster I lead my organization to recruit 10 people, notice how I keep putting myself in the recruiting mix, because the strongest recruiter in my organization is usually me. The most important recruiter in my organization is going to be me. And so it's not about my team members going, I wish my team would recruit somebody. No, 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 no. I'm going to go recruit some people through my team member. I'm going to call that new team member and inspire them. Hey, remind me of your dream. What did you remember what you said you wanted to do for your mom, for your dad? Remind me about your dream. All right. Remind me of the commitment that we're making. Let's renew that commitment to that and put the weekly schedule in place that's going to keep you on track. And now let's launch into activity. Dream, commit, launch. Dream, commit, launch. I'm going to remind them of their dream, reinforce that commitment to the weekly model that's going to sustain the result. And then we're going to launch into activity. Dream, commit, launch. So I can tap down into my organization, the 60%, and inspire them to send out another text message, to send 10 text messages, to make 10 calls, to schedule 10 more appointments, 5 more appointments, so that I can recruit that person for them as the third party expert. And of course, that person is going to sign up through their website because it's their prospect. But where did the recruiting skill come from? It came from me. I'm the recruiter. Put that in your notes. I'm the recruiter. I'm the recruiter for my personal prospects, and I put them on a 3-way call with somebody else. And I'm a recruiter for my downline team members where they're putting me on the phone with their prospects, but I'm the one that's driving the recruiter. I'm not sitting back waiting for my 60% to recruit. I'm driving it. I'm leading it. And that's how you increase your recruiting numbers. I don't know, somebody just got their money's worth this morning. Somebody got what they came for just in that statement alone. Who needed that? Who was that for? So 10%. Here's the mistake people make. Here's the mistake people make. Anybody ever felt frustrated before? Like, why is my team not doing something? Let me help you. Can I help you? I'm going to give you something. Here's how you reduce that frustration that comes from being disappointed by your team members' lack of productivity. Here's the mistake people make that leads to that frustration. They think everybody who joins is supposed to be a 10%er. Incorrect. Not everybody, they're not supposed to be. Only 10% are supposed to be self-motivated. So here's the tip. Don't expect self-motivated behaviors out of your motivatable group. Don't expect your 60%ers to show up like a 10%er. Only expect 10%er behavior out of 10%er people, and expect 60%er behavior out of the 60% that join. Now, again, remember, over time, keeping the 60% plugged in to the environment and plugged into accountability structures and the leadership development curriculum, they can transform into 10 percenters over time, but not overnight. It's called the law of process. Me too, Mr. Jones. Making the mistake of treating everybody like a 10 percenter. No, 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 no. Only 10% are 10 percenters. Oh, somebody's about to go to another level. And so finally, we have the top of the triangle, and that's the 3 percenters. The 3 percenters are motivators. Motivators. These are the ones who motivate the 60%. We must, as leaders, become the 3% that not only are self-motivated, leading ourselves, but we are the 3% that also inspire and motivate others. It's the 3 percenters who move the 60%. It's the 3 percenters who move the 60% into activity, into productivity, out of stagnation. The 3 percenters lead the 60% out of stagnation, out of feeling stuck, out of feeling overwhelmed, out of feeling confused, out of not knowing how to manage their time, not knowing how to manage their energy. It's the 3 percenters. So to become a 3 percenters, that means we're studying John C. Maxwell's Developing the Leader Within You. We're practicing the leadership principles. We're becoming a person of influence. We're not expecting the 60% to be self-motivated. We realize that what they do is based on what we do. Come on, somebody. Is this changing the game for anybody? So this framework is so helpful as a leader, and it's empowering. Isn't that empowering? To know, wait a minute, as I improve my leadership ability. Here's a little, y'all want to know one of my, part of my self-talk, pun intended, part of my self-talk is if I have somebody on my team and they're not producing the way I believe they could produce, if I'm feeling frustrated, I ask myself, pun intended, if Darnell Self was leading this person, would they be more productive? Ooh, ouch. And usually the answer is yes. If the answer is no, then that person, even if Darnell Self wouldn't motivate them, they're probably a 27%. And no matter what anybody says or does, they're not motivatable. But if the answer is yes, somebody with Darnell Self level of leadership and communication and his masterful, I mean, if How to Win Friends and Influence People was a person, that's Darnell Self. There's 30 people principles in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I remember studying the book, I'm going, wow, Darnell Self has mastered like all 30 of these principles. No wonder he has the impact and influence he has on people. So if I'm thinking somebody's not motivatable, but if Darnell Self spoke to them, they would get motivated and do something, that means it's not them, it's me. Ouch. It's not them being a 27 percenter. It's me not being a better 3 percenter. Ooh, ouch, ouch, ouch. But see, the truth hurts sometimes, but the truth will set us free, right? If somebody else had the same deck of cards that we were playing spades in Mexico last week, if somebody else could take the same hand that I was dealt and play a better game, it's not the cards. The cards are not the problem. It's my skill level. How diligent have I been at practicing those 30 principles in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie? How much am I studying and practicing the 5 levels of leadership? Found in the book, Developing the Leader Within You by John C. Maxwell and any of his other books that come after that. How well am I practicing it? Have I picked up the small little tiny book, John C. Maxwell, the series he wrote called the 101 series? If anybody struggles with how do I become a better equipper of other people, he's got a little book called Equipping 101. And how do I become a better mentor at mentoring everyone? He's got a little book called Mentoring 101. Easy to read, tiny little book, tiny little book. And so as we increase our skills as the 3%ers, we are the, everybody put this in your notes. I am a 3%er. I am a 3%er. And maybe you're speaking to the future. Maybe you're speaking to your true identity, and maybe you hadn't in the past showed up as that 3%er. Maybe you're currently in the 60% where you're like, wow, there's a lot of things I don't do until my leader reminds me to do it. That's okay. That means you're in the 60%, but you're growing into the 10%er. That's self-motivated. You know what? I'm tired of being a 60%er. I'm tired of relying on somebody else to come along and motivate me, waiting for somebody to remind me to do what I already need to do. You know, personal development, the first P in PAVE, P-A-V-E, personal development, activity, vision, events. The P in personal development means that I'm transforming. If I'm a 60%er, I'm transforming into a 10%er that's self-motivated. Nobody needs to come along and motivate me to get registered again. I know the system. I know where to find the answer in LS Engage. I know that I'm supposed to invite 2 to 5 people a day. I'm going to get myself to do it before my mentor reaches out. I'm going to shock my mentor and beat them to it. The next time they reach out to ask if I've done it, I'm going to say, yep, done already. I'm going to inspire my mentor with my transformation. If I'm currently a 60%er, I'm transforming a 60%er if I'm currently a 60%er who's motivatable, but I have not been showing up as the self-motivated person that I know I can be, and I know I truly am, I am going to be that self-motivated person. I'm gonna make sure that my weekly event is in place. Before my mentor asks me again. I'm gonna make sure that I'm showing up consistently for my weekly team training call before my mentor reminds me again. I'm gonna make sure that I'm registered for the next Super Saturday before my mentor reminds me again. I'm gonna make sure that I'm registered for New Orleans, Louisiana before my mentor reminds me again, before the next email comes out, before the next Legal Shield announcement. I'm gonna make sure I'm registered for the next Super Saturday. I'm gonna block my own schedule before my mentor tells me again the thing that I already know that I need to do. I'm gonna time block myself. I'm going to do the activity and schedule appointments early before my mentor asked me to again. I'm self-motivated now. That's the 10%. Now, some of us are already 10%ers. 10%ers, you have a tough place. You have a tough place. In fact, as a 10%er, you may be facing more frustration than anybody else in this entire triangle. Because as a 10%er, all you know is being self-motivated. I'm self-motivated. Shouldn't everybody else be self-motivated? Nobody has to remind me. I shouldn't have to remind anybody else. What's wrong with people? What is wrong with these people? I'm not going to babysit anybody. This is a grown person. Why should I have to babysit this person? That's the self-talk of a 10%er who does not realize that something transpired in your life that either shifted you into a 10%er where you became self-motivated, or maybe you haven't gone through the traumas, the dysfunction, whatever life experiences cause us to not show up as a 10%er. Let me tell you something. Every single one of us, we wouldn't be here if we weren't already 10%ers. We came here literally, biologically, scientifically, every single one of us, we beat out the race over millions of other cells to be here. So we're all champions, but something's happened in our lives that have convinced us that we're not champions. something has happened in our lives where seeds of deceit have been planted in our minds, in our hearts, whether it's dysfunction or trauma or whatever, lies that have caused us to see ourselves as less than the successful person that we are. And so, for those who are 10% and you're struggling with these grown people that don't seem to be operating like grown people, you got to develop some empathy. They've been through some stuff. And maybe you haven't been through that, or maybe you forgot that you've been through some stuff that helped you become the self motivated person that you are today, but you forgot the process. Or maybe you are so blessed that you had a great environment, you had a great upbringing, you had great healthy things poured into your life. So when you came into this game, you came and hit the ground running. You didn't have the baggage to overcome, so you were able to be self-motivated from day one. Congratulations. But that's not everybody. So in order to transform from a 10 percenter into a 3 percenter, it takes a certain level of empathy, a certain level of compassion, a certain level of understanding that there's more to what meets the eye. You know, there's more than one age a person can have. There's our chronological age, and then there's our emotional age. I'm 45 years old, but there's some areas in my life where if there's something unhealed in my life, I might be a 10-year-old because something that happened when I was 10 years old that I haven't been aware of yet. And I'm feeling when I experience certain things, the 10-year-old version of me comes out. So everybody may have a chronological age or even an amount of years they've been in the business, but that has nothing to do with the internal age, quote unquote. I'm just trying to hit this from different angles so it hits home for everybody. So 10 percenters, if you don't grow into a 3 percenter, you'll always be stuck with a job. See, you're so self-motivated, you're good at what you do, you take pride in what you do, you polish, you get polished, you develop the skills. But guess what? If you don't become a 3 percenter, you'll be the one stuck with all the work for forever. If you don't learn to believe in people, to delegate, to empower others, you'll always have a job. You won't develop the leverage that you're capable of developing. So invest in yourself, transform. Part of personal development, true personal development, is the process of transforming into the best version of your true self. So transform from a 10 percenter, there's more for you. Don't you want to have an organization full of self-motivated people? It doesn't mean it's all on you. A 3 percenter doesn't just one by one mentor every single person one-on-one. Jim Rohn said, you might be able to carry one or two on your back, but you can't carry three. You can't carry three. So a 3 percenter leverages the environment. How does a 3 percenter motivate the 60%? They plug this, they get good at, they lead by example, first of all. They keep things so simple that even someone who's not as skilled or not as developed can still copy and follow that pattern. A 3 percenter, see, a 10 percenter might make the mistake of whatever works for me is what I'm going to do. But a 3 percenter doesn't think that way. A 3 percenter doesn't say whatever works for me is what I'm going to do because it works for me. Because a 3 percenter, the motivator, is thinking about the masses, the 60% that have to follow. And if what you do as a leader is too complicated for the 60%, you just derailed the train for all of them. And you're the only one winning. So a 3 percenter is selfless. It's not just thinking about themselves. A 3 percenter saying, I'm only going to do what the 60% can copy. Put that in your notes. I'm only going to do what the 60% can copy. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to model. Yes, I can make slam dunks with my blindfolded and, upside down, right? Off of 1 foot. But the masses can't do that. So I'll do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what the masses can do because I'm here to move the masses. I'm a 3%er. I'm a motivator. Ooh, I should have paid more for this workshop this morning. I'm getting some good notes. I don't know about y'all. I can't wait to watch this replay. This is good. So as we get ready to open up for comments, go ahead and start raising your digital hands. I want to wrap this up with practicality, performance club family. And I'll just say it this simply. As a leader, we've got to understand the ratio. I have a phrase that goes, amateurs rely on luck. Professionals rely on formulas. Professionals rely on formulas, not luck. If you want to lead the masses, you want to have a formula for leading the masses. If you want to lead yourself and your organization, the 60%ers, into performance club, you have to have a formula that can work for the masses. So here's a formula I want to give you all. 1 out of 5 appointments results in a sign-up on average. 1 out of 5 appointments on average results in a sign-up. One of the mistakes that people make is they focus so much on the one sign-up that they need, that one more sign-up to Performance Club qualify that you need, or that one more sign-up that your team member needs to Performance Club qualify. We get so focused on the one more sign-up that we neglect the 5 new appointments. Focus more on the 5 new appointments that will get you the one sign-up. Focus your team member more on scheduling 5 new appointments that will automatically lead to a new sign-up, instead of the anxiety that comes from just focusing on the result. I got to get a sign up. I need this person to sign up. I hope this person signs up. Amateurs rely on hope and luck. Professionals like you and I, we rely on formulas. We don't need hope to get a result. We don't need luck to get the result. We just need 5 more appointments. And there's unlimited people in your city, unlimited people in your state, unlimited people in your province, unlimited people on social media to get an appointment. What kind of appointment, coach? Does it have to be this kind of appointment, that kind of appointment? Any appointment where people see or hear the presentation. An appointment to watch the video. An appointment to meet you at the coffee shop. An appointment to come to your living room and see the presentation. An appointment to come to your Tuesday night event. An appointment to come to the presentation in the beginning of the Super Saturday. An appointment to get on the phone with you and listen to a phone overview. An appointment to meet with you at a restaurant. An appointment for you to go to their house. Any appointment where they see the presentation followed by a 3-way call. Just schedule 5 new appointments. That is our number one job. Put that in your notes. I'm an appointment scheduler. What's my job description? Schedule appointments. What kind of appointments, coach? Appointments for them to see a presentation and appointments for them to talk to somebody else afterwards. That's it. We schedule 2 types of appointments every day. I'm hiring somebody to join my team. They want to know the job description. Your only job description is to show up and schedule appointments. Show up and schedule appointments. Who's about to go schedule 5 new appointments, not now, but right now? Who's about to get with your team members, your 60 percenters, and say, hey, remind me of your dream. Remind me what you want to do for your family. Remind me the lifestyle you said you wanted. Hey, let's commit to the schedule this week. Let's commit to the schedule that's going to keep you on track. And let's schedule some appointments together right now. I want to remind you, your only job, I'm going to work with you. Your only job is to schedule 5 new appointments. Let's do it together. Not now, but right now. Ms. Gardner, I'm going to turn over to you first as we go to our comments.
Well, that was a masterclass in building this business, sir. Um, Absolutely incredible. I know we got a lot of people with a lot of comments, a lot of questions. Guys, I'll just encourage you, let's keep it to the topic that Coach Bell is on today, and can't wait to hear from you all. So hold on one second. All right, I can't see who you are, so CCM, you are up.
Hey, Elizabeth and Coach Christy here in Birmingham. I just wanted to say, well, I've got some great momentum going on with my business right now, and this really just put me over the top. With every other business, I've always been that 3%, and it just kind of made me realize, why am I not with this one? So that gave me the extra boost and mindset, and I appreciate it. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Fantastic.
Congratulations. Let's go.
What a great realization to have early in your business. It's it's amazing when you get that revelation. I think that's, for me, that was the evolution of, you come in, you do all the work, and then it's the evolution of, oh, the system exists, so I can bring more people into the system, right? And so powerful. All right, Diamond Jim, I think you are next, sir.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Looking forward to seeing you Saturday. Going to be in Orlando. Great. It's funny you mentioned empathy. I'll give you all another great book to read is Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last. It is one of the most amazing books, and it really ties in a lot with exactly what Coach was talking about today. And the main thing I've realized that I really need to work on is building that empathy, because I'm a 10%er and empathy is not in my vocabulary. At least it didn't used to be, and it's getting there. So I encourage that. So thank you for sharing on this, and I like the formula. It falls right in with the 10 equals 2 plus 1. So good stuff.
You caught that. Yes, sir. Let's go. Who's next?
Marissa's next.
He said the book was Leaders Eat Last. Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
Miss Marissa, great
Good
seeing you
morning.
in
Great.
Mexico.
Yes. Listen, I was 13 minutes late and I still don't appreciate how many times this phone call slapped me today. um, you know, very much like Jim, that empathy piece, like just being really real right now. Like, I have recognized that I am not as empathetic to people's situations as I could be and should be as a leader, because I've been through so much stuff that I'm just like, okay, like I forget, I guess, I don't know, coach. But that empathy piece is huge. It's really huge. So what would you say for somebody who, how would you, outside of the book that I just purchased with my other credit, so I done purchased 2 books this morning. Thank you, Legal Shield family. What would you say for somebody to tap back into that depth rooted empathetic piece? And I'm going to add on, as a Christian, because I know that you are as well as I am, how do we get back to that?
That's so good. That's so good. The first thing that comes to mind is just self-reflection, like to really sit back and pray about your journey. Like, go back. You know, see, I'm so in touch with I can never forget the things that I've had to overcome in my own life. And so it's fresh for me. It's still fresh for me. You know, I look at my story, my journey, some of the struggles that I went through, and then I look back. You know, sometimes we can even be frustrated at our parents or blame our parents for certain things. And then I go, wait a minute, what did my parents go through? I have no idea what my parents' struggle had to be. If I think I had some struggles, my parents made my life better for me than it was for them. So what did they have to overcome and endure in order to even survive? So just really just taking the time to really reflect and dig a little bit deeper. You know, when Jim Rohn, in the book The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, The Slight Edge reminds us that philosophy, Jim Rohn, this is from Challenge to Succeed by Jim Rohn, teaches us the 5 pieces of the life puzzle. Philosophy, how we think, what we believe and think, leads to our attitude, which is how we feel, the emotional part. And then that shows up in our activity. That's the part people forget. Before the activity is only a reflection of what's happening internally. The external activity is only a reflection of what's happening internally, the beliefs, thoughts, and emotions. So we've got to look back beyond the behavior of the person and examine, wow, what must this person be feeling in order to behave that way? What must this person be thinking or struggling with in order to behave that way? How must this person be seeing themselves in order to behave that way? And when we backtrack and dig beyond this, beneath the surface, and to the roots, and we can see what was the thinking, beliefs, and emotion that led to that behavior in others and within ourselves, we can all find a lot more sympathy, a lot more empathy. I was having a deep conversation with somebody the other day, and it was the topic of judgment came up, judging people, and the passage in the Bible where they were going to stone the woman because she was caught in adultery, and the response that Jesus had was, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." And so all these people that were ready to murder this woman, and they had a right to do it according to the law, and they were about to do it, every single one of them in that moment had to do a self-examination and ask, am I without sin? Well, oh, I must have forgot. I must have forgot when I fell short. I must have forgot when I missed the mark. And here I am so focused on this person. So we got to be careful with self-righteousness. Sometimes we can be so quote unquote transformed or developed that we can be careful with self-righteousness. The enemy can try to trick us into pride, trick us into pride. And so those are some of the thoughts that came to mind, just really reflecting on our own journey, on our own struggles, um, being honest with ourselves, and then just practicing seeing things beyond the surface, beneath the surface, and asking those questions. What must this person be feeling? That next person that cuts us off on the freeway or throws their middle finger up at us and we're ready to react. What must this person be going through? What could have just happened in that person's life? You know, I've been semi-retired for 20 plus years. This person has to live in this rush hour traffic every single day. If I was going through the same thing, I might be feeling the same way. If I was still stuck in that cuss word called a cubicle, I might be feeling the same way. And so just practicing that muscle of seeing things from other people's perspective and you know, just releasing the temptation to be judgmental or critical. That's a muscle in itself. Powerful question. Powerful question.
I
Coach Bell,
appreciate you. Thank you.
can I hop in here too?
Please do. It's
What?
like double dutch. Come on, jump on in
Well,
here.
it's double dutch. Well, one of the things that really hit me is in Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. Brene says the first question she always asks is, "What if this is the best they can do?" That
One
because
more time.
yeah, what if this is the best they can do? Because like you've overcome a lot in your life. I mean, I've overcome some things, right? Some people like Marissa said, they've overcome so much they don't have the empathy for people who are sort of going through something even less than what they've gone through, that they're struggling. And it's like, because they're like, I did it, just get your butt in gear and let's go. But she says, first ask your self, what if they're doing the best they can do? And then the next question, the leadership question, is how do I lead them from where they are? Not should they be there or should they not be there? But like my thing is, it's like by judging, criticizing, telling them to get over it, don't you think they already are doing that to themselves? So, from a leadership perspective, what can I do that can move them forward? If anything, like you said, sometimes they're in that, we always know growth comes from within. It's like sometimes the leader can't do anything. I promise you, adding judgment and condemnation on top of it isn't going to help your business or theirs. Even from a selfish standpoint, as in getting them to produce so you can get an override. That's the selfish way to look at this business, if you want to, versus helping people. There's always two sides of that coin. It's how can I help them move? If this is the best they can do, how can I help them move from where they are? Not to judge where they are. But anyway, Brene Brown says, first question is always, what if this is the best they can do?
That's so good.
What's my next move?
So good.
Oh,
What a call today.
anyway,
Oh, good.
thank you so
So
much.
good. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Marissa. All right, Lois, you are next.
Thank you so much. I'm taking notes and I really appreciate this coaching because I have felt stuck so many times and and sometimes it takes something to trigger a motivated state. I remember one time I was on social media and there was a poster that had this song and they said, go get it, go get it, go get your blessing. And I got up. I said, I knew I need to get up and do things and do this and do that. But I know that I was doing something on social media and I just got into too much social media. And then all of a sudden this came out of the social media and I said, this is what I need to get motivated to get up today and do it. But I know that I have been making some progress and I'm in self-development. So I have to continue with the process because I have great leaders, I have great mentors, I have great leadership in my organization that I'm in. And I have no excuses, but I still am stuck sometimes. I have to keep moving forward. Even if I'm stagnant for a period of time, I'm not staying there. Just like we're moving out of this home into a new home, and there's things to unpack. We're not packed yet. We're packing things to take to a new home, but we don't want to pack everything from the old home because we have to get rid of I have to get rid of my junk. So it's just a process. It's like, how do you move from the old home to a new home? How do you move from I used to be working for other people to now I'm still working for other people and I'm building my business and I'm working for myself and with other people to help me build it up. Well, now I'm not, but I used to do that. I used to work for Walmart, and I used to work for the school district, and I had benefits, and I had this and that. You know, I had paid time off, PTO, but I went ahead and started a business while I was working my W-2 job because somebody invited me. My mother's friend invited us to take a look at it. And if she hadn't invited us, I wouldn't be there. And if someone hadn't invited, if someone hadn't introduced me and my mom to the membership, which was my uncle, then, and he lives in another state, then the next state over, we're in Texas, he's in Louisiana. If he hadn't called to check on me and my mom, we wouldn't be here. So it's just, I'm still stuck sometimes, but I know I can't stay there. Just like I know I have to take care of myself, but I'm still giving that effort to be better, to get better, to improve myself. And so I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
That's so good. Yes, and I love that analogy of moving from one house to another. There's so much to literally unpack there, as you said.
Almost 10 years, you have to pack and then unpack, but wait a
Right.
minute, you can't take
And so
everything.
somebody just put in the comments that they're learning to give themselves more grace. And that's so important, in everything that we've spoken about. And the question that Marissa, you asked as well, sometimes we don't have empathy for others because we have more empathy for others because we haven't been empathetic with our own selves and our own journeys. And so giving ourselves that grace. Can you all still hear me? And then also finding those strategies. You said a song came on and that song motivated you into action. So one tip for those moving from 60% motivatable to 10% self-motivated is to find things that move you into action without waiting for it to show up. Be strategic about it. So when I find a song that moves me into action, I'm no longer gonna wait for that song to play. I'm gonna purposely utilize that song to motivate myself proactively. If there's a certain environment where I'm more productive, I'm not just going to wait until I happen to be in that environment. I'm going to strategically put myself in that environment more often so that I can be more productive. If there are certain people that when I get around these certain people, I'm more likely to do the activities that are leading me in the direction of my goals and dreams. I'm going to be intentional about spending more time around those type of people. That's how you become self-motivated. That's how you start to lead yourself as opposed to just depending on someone else or something else to lead you. Oh, this is so good. I should do a series on this. All right, who's next?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to start with the 10% and the 3%, and that why isn't everybody doing this, especially when you have been self-motivated for a while, definitely resonated. Usually not so much the judgment, but why aren't people taking what's available in terms of the time that we're sharing? But one of the things you said 3 steps earlier was, if you are a mover of the masses of people, you have to do activities that everyone can follow. And just because I have the ability to do these things, I can't be teaching everybody all the things that I can do. I have to be able to teach things that everyone can do. And we've heard it so many times, plug them into the system. But at that level, the 10%, 3%, and what's going on in many other areas of life, I'm a 3%er inspiring people everywhere. That's like what I do, empowering people. That's the name of the business, Empower Caravan. But in this business, I'm trying to plug them in with some of the tools that I've adopted and that are beneficial for me, but give them something that everyone can use. And to Marissa's point about being able to guide them from where they are, and thank you for that Brene Brown quote, Ms. Gardner. How do we lead them from where they are right now? Not where we know they can be, but where they are today. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So good. Something I remind myself is this is a powerful phrase to write down. I cannot grow from where I used to be. Or where I think I should be by now. I can only grow from where I truly am. I cannot grow from where I used to be. I used to be over here. I should be further by now. I cannot grow from where I think I should be. And I should be up there, blah, 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 blah. I can't grow from there. I can only grow from where I truly am right now. Who's next? We got about 4 minutes to get through. I think 4 people.
Rosa's next.
Oh, wait a minute. Unmute, and I muted myself. Oh my
There
goodness.
you are.
I am the copious note taker, and I kind of knew that when I was trying to write that in the chat that I was going to be called next. I just want to say that I had planned on going to a gym class for the first time at this nearby gym, and for some reason I couldn't find the actual uh, card to be able to clock in, or what do you want to call it, and then I said, wait a minute, it's 10 o'clock. Um, I'm still home. Monday leaders. So I cannot express how I needed to hear this in so many ways, especially when you talked about the book, Developing the Leader Within. Actually, this may sound crazy, but I'm retired from the state of Connecticut, and had to be like maybe 20 years ago. I actually had that book, and there's another book, Developing the Leaders Around You. And I actually gave my director the book, Developing the Leaders Around You. I feel that what I really learned today, and I heard it so many times before, is sometimes people will remind you of yourself, remind you of who you are, and also the fact that sometimes you have to be careful not to let people see more in you than you see in yourself. And I feel that's where personal development comes in. And when you talked about so many things, and so many things to unpack. And one of the things that I was doing today, believe it or not, sometimes it can be the most simplest thing. I am in my bedroom right now, and I have literally, how can I say it this way, for too long walked past the top of my dresser, just being full of stuff, and just kept ignoring it. And so the one thing that I realized is that sometimes the small activities that are right in your house, it could be like the woman was saying, moving. It could be a small activity in your house where it's like allowing space to allowing things to be in your space that you need to get rid of. It could be those shoes with the broken heel on it. It could be a dress that the button is off, and you may need to get that button fixed, or you need to um, do goodwill or something. So I'm realizing that two things about me, and I've said this so many times, and it's not just about being a millionaire for the sake of millionaire, because I truly believe in Deuteronomy 8:18 that it says God has given us the power to create wealth to establish his kingdom upon this earth. But one of the things that I have said, and this is why I'm talking about the clutter, basically, that I've allowed in my house, in my mind, that if I was organized, I would be a millionaire. So I'm letting you know that as we speak, in real time, I didn't wait. I've put into action right here in my home, which is going to propel into my business. And I want to say to you that anytime I hear you, and you do training, and I put it into action, I have been successful. I can't wait to meet you in person. I'm in Connecticut. You're in California. There's something about them 2 C's. But I want to tell you that I put it in the chat that you dropped the mic and it got dragged all the way to Connecticut. Thank you. I love you dearly.
Let's go. I'll see you at one of the
Awesome.
super regionals.
All right, Miss Letitia Randolph, you are next, ma'am.
Okay, well, I see what time it is, so I'll keep it short and sweet. Man, Mr. Coach Farbell, I think you came back super refreshed from your trip with new insights and revelations, and I'm sure you had plenty of conversations while you were out there. I'm so happy that I have you in my life. You have been super impactful for me, as you can see. Whenever I listen, I do well when I listen to Coach Bell. Oh, put that in the chat. I do well when I listen to Coach Bell. And I think that all that you shared today, I think the biggest thing I'm taking away is self-reflection. Get that mirror and look and be honest about what needs to change or what needs to be adjusted. And don't forget to give yourself credit or give myself credit for what has gone well and then what needs to be adjusted. Elizabeth Gardner, Mrs. Gardner, does a really good job of asking those questions. You don't ask yourself, this is the worst question you could ever ask, is what did I do wrong or what am I doing wrong? It's what did I do well? And there's a second question, Mrs. Gardner, the way you say it, I don't remember exactly. I remember the concept, but it's what do I need to change or what can I adjust? What do I need to do differently? And so I just appreciate you saying that today. And even the thing about Mr. Self, because that has happened to me before. He said something to me and I was like, yes. But I've also done the same with you. So hope you're not offended. I've done both. I've done you and him. I've listened to both of you, but it really did help me from my leadership perspective to think, how am I coming across as a leader? What am I? Am I 3%? I think I am, but sometimes I'm 10% and not 3%. I'm definitely not 60. So excited about everything you shared today. Thank you.
So,
Awesome. All right, guys, we got to go quick. Adrian, you are next.
Appreciate y'all. Yes, I do well when I listen to Coach Bell. You do motivate me, my brother. I promise you. I think you need to make that a slogan. I do well when I listen to Coach Bell. My
Don't
thing
forget to
is,
quote me.
oh yes, I did, ma'am. I and I love you too, Donna. That just spoke. By the way, I've been in the business for a minute. I'm on the bus, and I do well when I get on the bus with some of the people I speak to. I'm just not closing everybody. I'm not closing anyone, to be honest. But I had been to a Greek restaurant, and that was on my mind today after hearing you to go there. Lovely restaurant. That I prospected a gentleman that every time I reach out, he can only do Sundays because that's when he's off. But yesterday I tried to bring him to the setting at last night. Well, I'm gonna be in DC somewhere, Silver Spring, until 10 o'clock. I didn't even deal with it. I just okay. See you next Sunday. So now you said today 5 new people. 5 new people. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna work on by going to this Greek restaurant, speaking to the owner and or the manager, and see if I can set up something there. I would like you to come from California, or no, not necessarily, get on a Zoom and do a presentation for me to present to him because that's what I have confidence. I have a great language. I can speak very well. But I want to make sure that I close the manager on letting me use his restaurant to set up a session. So I want you to do the presentation for me when that happens. So how can I reach out to you? Or how can you reach out to me? You already know my name, Adrian.
Facebook Messenger is the best way to reach me, Coach Fard Bell, and it's a picture of me and my son on there. And
Okay.
I can present for you 24/7 because I have a video with Brian Carruthers called
Okay, cool.
BornCEO.com/protect.
All right.
BornCEO.com/protect.
Is
If
it an
somebody
option?
can put that in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Melvin Brown already put it in the chat. So absolutely.
Okay,
Awesome.
perfect.
All right,
And
Coach. Go ahead,
and I'll
Coach.
be in DC the 21st for the speaking at the Super Saturday.
Absolutely. All right, Coach Bell, close us out.
Let's go, family. 5 new appointments. Our job description is scheduling 5 new appointments, 5 new appointments, 5 new appointments. And then what do we do after that? Schedule 5 new appointments. For those that are sending me a friend request, it might not let you, but make sure you send me a private message so I can reply to it and we can talk through Facebook Messenger. But let's go. It's our time, family. This is the day. Let's schedule 5 new appointments today and then inspire somebody else to schedule 5 new appointments today. And as we keep that focus, we're going to have more people getting one. All of us are only 1 or 2 signups away from Performance Club. All of our team members are only 1 or 2 signups away from Performance Club. And if it's true that 5 new appointments leads to 1 new sign up, that means you're only 5 new appointments away from your next sign up. Let's go make it happen. Let's keep it fun. Let's keep it simple, and let's lead the masses. Thank you so much for this platform, Miss Elizabeth Gardner.
Absolutely. Well, guys, let me just say this. We have a special treat next week. None other than the #1 money earner in the entire company will be here next Monday on Monday Leaders. Mr. Brian Carruthers will be here next Monday talking about leadership. So be sure to be on. I myself are going on a trip that I planned 2.5 years ago. I'm going on a cruise to the fjords of Norway. Nancy Chaconis and myself planned this trip back in January of 2023. Well, guess what? Now's the time. We are leaving to go on that trip, to cruising through the fjords of Norway. So if I can get on, I will be here because it'll be 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But you will be in great hands next week with Mr. Brian Carruthers. Y'all have an amazing week. Remember, everybody can still go to Punta Cana next year by being in Performance Club this month. So make it happen. Coach Bell gave us some amazing ideas to make that happen for yourself and your team this month. Y'all have a great week. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Coach Bell. Bye-bye.